While I was at work, my parents invited my kids over for Christmas, then sat them at a servant's table and made them watch their cousins open real gifts. My daughter was given a roll of toilet paper. My son got a note, "Ask your dad why you're not worth it." I got angry and didn't confront them. I knew this wouldn't go unpunished. I started constructing a revenge so brutal, so personal, it would shatter them. Today it began. Now they're screaming, "What did you do? You're destroying the family." I was working a holiday shift. Double pay and I needed it. My ex and I share custody and this year the kids were with me for Christmas Eve. My parents, who always claimed they wanted to be closer to their grandkids, offered to take them for the day so I could finish work. I hesitated. Things had always been tense. But they insisted. Said they'd make it special. Said it was family time. I let them go. When I picked the kids up that night, something was off. My daughter, 7, was quiet. She clutched a small, crumpled roll of toilet paper in her lap like it was made of gold. My son, 10, handed me a folded piece of paper and refused to speak. It read, "Ask your dad why you're not worth it." I fell cold. I asked what happened, gently. My daughter mumbled something about a servant's table. My son just said they weren't allowed to open the real presents because those were for the real grandkids. They had watched their cousins unwrap tablets, game consoles, shoes, bikes. My daughter's name wasn't even on a gift tag. My son said he got the note after asking why he didn't get anything. One of the adults just laughed and said, "Maybe ask your dad." I didn't explode. I didn't call them screaming. Didn't drive over. Didn't even send a message. Because I knew something then, this wasn't accidental. This wasn't just thoughtless. This was calculated cruelty with a message meant for me. They wanted to shame me through my kids. Punish me for pulling back from the family. For not being who they wanted. For working. For not being useful to them anymore. But instead of reacting, I got quiet. Focused. I started planning something they'd never see coming. Not petty revenge. Not just cutting them off. No, this was going to be slow. Deep. Personal. I spent the next 2 weeks reviewing every shared account. Every document I was still tied to. Every responsibility I had taken on for them when they didn't want to deal with the consequences of their own life choices. They wanted to send a message? I was going to send one back. One they'd never forget. My parents always knew how to perform for the outside world. Charity auctions. Church events. Social media posts showing off the grandkids they barely acknowledged unless there was a camera. Behind closed doors, though, they had patterns. Control masked as tradition. Guilt framed as generosity. Conditional love wrapped in expensive packaging. And they were careless. Years ago, after my dad's second medical scare, I took over managing a lot of their financial details. Bills. Property taxes. Their backup retirement fund. What my mom called the family vault. I was the one who set up the password-protected spreadsheets. The online systems. I paid fees from my own accounts to avoid letting things lapse when they forgot. They leaned on me without realizing how much I had access to. Or maybe they thought I'd always play the obedient son. Quietly handling the adult stuff while they handed out insults like Christmas candy. Not anymore. The week after Christmas, I started making phone calls. Quietly. Methodically. The family vault was a modest investment account set up when my grandmother passed. Meant for emergencies only. But it was in my name partially for tax reasons. My father's idea, ironically. "You're good with numbers," he said back then. "You'll keep us safe." And I had. Until now. I transferred my portion. Legally. Cleanly. The rest I froze with a pending audit. I attached documentation, noted suspicious activity, and let the system do its work. I didn't have to accuse them of fraud. I just had to raise enough red flags that every dollar they touched would now come with a question mark and a waiting period. Then I looked at the mortgage. They had refinanced their home 3 years ago using my credit as a cosigner because my dad's wasn't clean and my mom's income didn't qualify. I'd agreed because they said it was temporary. It wasn't. But now I filed the paperwork to remove myself from the note, triggering a reassessment of the loan. Their interest rate spiked. A new lender was required. Paperwork started rolling in. They didn't know yet, but they would. They'd feel at first as confusion. Then panic. And still, I said nothing. I just made sure every step had documentation. Every legal box ticked. Every account they forgot I had access to suddenly out of reach. This wasn't revenge through shouting. This was surgical. One day, my daughter came into the room and asked, "Daddy, was I bad on Christmas?" I bent down and looked her in the eyes. "No, sweetheart. But some people were." It started with a voicemail. My dad's voice, sharp with forced calm. "Hey, weird thing, bank call today. Something about the mortgage file being flagged? Give me a call, we'll sort it out." I didn't call back. 3 days later, another message, this time from my mom. Shrill, tight. "We got a notice. Why are there papers about reassessment? This doesn't make sense. Fix it. You're making us look like idiots." No apology. No mention of my kids. Just panicked that someone might think less of them. The next week, it all collided. Their monthly loan auto-pay bounced. I had unlinked my name and my bank account from it. The system flagged their application as incomplete. The interest rate had jumped by nearly 5% due to requalification under their credit scores alone. They were going to owe thousands more a year. And the new bank required documentation for everything. That's when the text started. "We know this is you. This is spiteful. You're destroying the family." I stayed silent, but I kept going. I closed the shared family Amazon account, one they used regularly but billed to my card. I removed myself from the insurance bundle I'd been covering them under. My father's truck and my mother's phone plan got separate bills now at full price. Autopay? Gone. They called again. This time I answered. Not to argue. Just to confirm. "Yes, I'm making changes." Then I hung up. They thought that would be the worst of it. They didn't realize I'd saved the real blow for last. Because there was one more vault. One they forgot even existed. It had taken me weeks to get it. Not because it was hidden, but because they'd forgotten the security system I helped install 2 years ago still uploaded backups to my cloud. One angle pointed directly at the dining room. I watched the footage alone at night. There they were. My kids sat at the folding table near the laundry room next to the trash bins. Paper plates. No decorations. No name tags. Nothing festive. Meanwhile at the main table their cousins laughed and unwrapped presents in a storm of expensive packaging. My son trying to smile through it, pushing away tears. My daughter holding that roll of toilet paper like it might be some kind of joke. Then my sister walked over and placed a note in front of my son. He read it. And the light in his face dimmed. No one stopped it. No one corrected her. In fact, my father laughed from across the room. That was the moment that broke something in me. But now? Now I had proof. I clipped the footage. I didn't post it online. No. That would have been too easy. Too public. Instead I emailed it. Directly. To every extended family member who had ever asked why I seemed distant. To the pastor who always wondered why I skipped family Sundays. To my uncle who ran the church outreach newsletter. I didn't add commentary, just the video, the date, and the note my son received. Subject line: what they gave my children for Christmas. The fallout was nuclear. Phones rang. People stopped replying to my parents' messages. My cousin pulled out of a joint business venture with my dad. My aunt demanded an apology before we even think of letting you back into the family events. Church families started whispering. The perfect grandparent's reputation? Gone. That morning I got a call. Screaming. Crying. My mother's voice barely coherent. What did you do? You're destroying the family. No. They destroyed it when they looked at my kids and saw tools to hurt me. I just made sure everyone saw what they really were. And as for my kids? This year they'll have a new Christmas tradition with people who actually love them. No folding chairs. No toilet paper gifts. No more pretending. Update 3 months later. Didn't think I'd write again. But a few people asked what happened after everything blew up. The short version? They're still spiraling. My parents tried to do damage control. Claimed the footage was taken out of context. That my kids were playing a game and liked the joke. Nobody bought it. My uncle, the only one who tried to stay neutral, told me they'd been quietly blacklisted from family gatherings for now. Apparently even their church pulled them from the community Christmas board. My dad texted me last month. You've turned everyone against us. Congratulations. I didn't reply. There's nothing left to say. As for my kids, they're doing better. My daughter finally stopped asking why grandma hated her. My son's in therapy and it's helping. We spent our own little Christmas late. Just the 3 of us. I gave them what they really deserved. Time, attention, and gifts chosen with love. And you know what? They smiled. Really smiled. That's the part I'll carry with me. Not the revenge. Not the screaming. Just the look on their faces when they finally felt safe, loved, and enough. As they always should have. If you enjoyed that story and want more brutal, poetic justice served cold, don't forget to hit that like button, drop a comment telling us what you would have done, and subscribe for more true-style revenge stories. Because sometimes the best closure is no contact.